Welcome to Early Bird Picker. My name is Rafa. I'm a reseller and I resell on eBay, Facebook Marketplace, Amazon, and sometimes Depop. I list stuff on there. I don't really sell too much on there. But anyway, this is going to be a thrifting video. I'll show you what I pick up mainly at thrift stores and a couple other places, I guess. So I don't know if anyone paying attention has been watching my channel, has noticed I've been thrifting a lot more than usual. I usually go thrifting almost every day, but I'm going to even more thrift stores than normal. I work as a physical therapist assistant at a nursing home, and for the last couple weeks, the nursing home that I work has about half the residents have COVID, and so they're not having anybody that's not like an essential nurse or nurse aide, essentially. They're not having us come in right now. So I have just dove headfirst all day into reselling even more than I was. So going to thrift stores a lot more and listing all day on the days that I'm not at thrift stores. And so far I've been doing okay. I've gotten through a lot of I like to call it my procrastination pile. And so today I went to, I think, 4 or 5 thrift stores, and I'm going to show you what I got. And by the way, special shout out to Steven. He is a viewer that I recently met. He's local, and he is a reseller too. He connected with me on Facebook, and he found an opportunity on Facebook Marketplace to pick up some college textbooks from a lady that was giving them for free. I think he ended up paying $20 for one book in particular. Looked it up, and it is worth $300. Is the cheapest one on Amazon. He doesn't have an Amazon account, and I do for reselling, and so we're doing like a commission situation. And so here's the book that I picked up. It's this one. It doesn't look like a $300 book, but it is. We ended up listing it for $199.99 and hoping to get some pretty good return on this one. I'll update when it sells. So as far as reselling goes, I am always looking to expand what I sell, looking to learn new things. And recently I was hearing someone talk about reselling ties and just how it's a good area to flip just because they can be worth a lot of money. They can be relatively cheap to purchase. They're easy to store, lightweight to ship. There's just a lot of good things about them. The problem with ties is a lot of the brand names are they're hard to pronounce. I don't know. They don't just come naturally. They don't sound, I don't even know how to just say what I'm trying to say. Well, the name of this one is Massimo Bizzocchi or something like that. It's just like words that I've never heard before, basically. And so that's, I feel like, how a lot of tie brands are, is this, it's not like a normal brand that you've heard of before. And so it's hard for me to just watch a video of another reseller talking about ties and then memorize those brands. So what I decided I was going to do to learn about ties is whenever I'm in a thrift store, I'm going to pick out like 10 ties and type those in. Sometimes if you're like, today I was at a thrift store, there's like 50 ties. I just didn't feel like typing all 50 of those in, because if none of them were good, you just wasted a lot of time like hand typing in each one. So I decided I'm going to do like 10 at a time, and if none are good, just move on. And so the thrift store that I was at today, I typed this one in, and it looked like this brand sells pretty well. I checked over the condition of the tie. It seemed like it was in pretty nice condition. It was only $2, and for the most part, I try to sell stuff where I make at least $10 profit, and it looked like most of these were selling for more than $12. So I'm branching out. I'm going to give it a try. Maybe total flop. But if you are a reseller and like selling ties, give me one tie brand that you like selling so I don't get overwhelmed in the comments. I'm all about the orthopedic shoe, as you guys know. Snatch these double strap Apex shoes up. They do not resell for very much, maybe like $25, which is when I'm paying. These were $5 or $6. They were unmarked. Ooh. So that means I paid $5 or $6 for them at Goodwill. The brand is Apex. You can see I only picked them up because they were absolute excellent condition, and like moving them on, make about $15-20 profit pretty quick on them. And they are a 10.5 wide, which is a pretty good size. Innovate is a really good brand. They have not been around for a very long time, maybe like 10 years or so. They primarily, I believe, make like a trail running shoe, and then they used to make CrossFit shoes that I used to wear. They pretty much only make high-end shoes, so if you see the brand Innovate, it's like INOV, and then the foot is supposed to be like an 8, essentially. Pick them up if they're in this nice a condition. These were $9. To me, they look They're not unworn because here's how you can tell. There is a little bit of creasing in the midsole there. I don't know if you can see that in the video, and just a tiny bit of creasing through the toe, but they're so clean on the bottom. Perfect condition, almost. So a good one here. Brooks is pretty much like the number 1, number 2 specialty running shoe company that there is. Hoka is probably the most popular right now, but Brooks has been around for a much longer time. This is the Brooks Revel. You have to be a little bit careful when picking up Brooks because they don't only make high-end shoes, they make kind of some like moderate level shoes, and so you got to make sure you know what model you're picking up. This is not one of their most high-end running shoes, and I was on the fence about this one. The reason why they're $13, and this is not the most current model, and so you're never going to get as much money for a shoe that is not the most current model, obviously. But here's the thing, the condition was awesome. Little bit of cleanup that needs to happen on the white midsole, but the bottom's really nice and clean. The upper is in awesome condition. There's no creasing here, which is like one of my pet peeves, and so I decided to get them. Should get like $35 for them. So like I was saying, because this is my main thing right now, kind of for an indefinite amount of time, I am picking up more items that are going to bring a lower profit. And the deal is I have to be really careful about this because I am extremely OCD and like detail oriented and really thorough. And so whenever I make my listing, it takes me quite a while. Like I think I've figured out that maybe I can list maybe like 4 items an hour, and that's cross-posted, so both on eBay and Facebook Marketplace. So you can count that as 8 listings. I don't know. You can only get 4 sales though, so really it's just more like 4. And so like I said, I'm really pretty slow. That's why I like to make at least $10 profit. But anyway, so I'm picking up some lower priced items and we'll see how it works out, if it's worth it or not. This is a sunbeam temperature and humidity, like little desk. It's not a clock, but it's a temperature and humidity gauge, and it should sell for a little over $10. I paid $1 for it. Couldn't pass this coffee cup up. I love Ninja Turtle stuff. Ninja T, it's a TNMT or something like that. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles can be extremely collectible. This one though, it's not vintage. It is from 2016. It's only 50 cents though. It says turtly awesome, and so I just thought this one was really cool. I wish that there had been like 2 or 4 of these. Would have been a lot easier to sell a set of them. This one was 50 cents. I don't remember if I said that or not. These 2 coffee cups were only 50 cents too. So I definitely getting back into sourcing coffee cups. I don't love shipping them just because I'm OCD about listing things. I'm pretty OCD about shipping things too and worrying if they're going to get broken. But they can be pretty valuable, and sometimes things that you don't expect would be valuable. Like I would think that Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles cup would be more valuable than these B-17 Flying Fortress cups, but that's not the case. This set should sell for maybe like $30 plus shipping. They're in really nice condition. Paid 50 cents a piece for these, so it's going to be a good profit on this one. Just like a reseller tip, anything that is military or airplane can be really collectible. I've done really well over the last couple of years with things that are military or flying related airplane stuff, especially the vintage stuff. It's not quite vintage, but I got a Sturgis 2009 t-shirt. It's a front and back. Paid $2.99 for it. Hope to get 15. Anytime I see brand new, still sealed in the package, filters of any sort, I usually pick them up. They're nothing exciting to resell. Like it doesn't make me, I don't know. I really like reselling stuff that's like vintage or has a cool look to it or something special. But this is just a bread and butter item. It was $2 and it should sell pretty fast. When you get something like this that's new in the package, I always really carefully open it up and just make sure that it is still sealed. Like you can obviously see the plastic on it still, so that's, you can't sell a used filter, I wouldn't think. And you want to make sure that it's by a company that's really well known, like Samsung on this one. You don't want to be reselling like filters that are from some off-brand. First of all, probably no one will buy them, and second of all, I'm not even sure you can do that on eBay. But the biggest thing is just probably no one will buy them. Here's a pretty good example of the opposite of what I was just saying. These are vintage Justin boots, which I honestly probably should have left these. The reason why is they are a size 4.5. So I'm not even sure if that's like a women's size or more like a kid size. I mean, I'm not even sure how I'm going to list these, to be honest, if they're women's or kids, but I'm going to look up the style number. But I've sold these vintage Justin Roper boots before. They sell pretty well, especially when they have like this feature right there, whatever you want to call that detail. And they're in pretty good condition. They weren't marked. They were only $5. And at the last Goodwill, I found this vintage Polo Sport Ralph Lauren, just like polo, long sleeve t-shirt. It's got something on the side there. It says it's a size large, but I don't know. You can't really tell in the video. It looks pretty small, but I don't think it's a kid size small. The lady checking out, though, did. She only charged me $2.50 for it, so that's a good deal. I'm just going to have to put the measurements on there, and someone can see if it'll fit them or not. It's Friday, and I went to the How thrift store by my house, and this is one of my favorites as far as pricing goes. I got 6 things for $5. The reason why I really like this thrift store is nothing is priced, and oftentimes you can kind of haggle or just negotiate the price at checkout. They kind of just look at what you have, give you a total. Usually it's pretty good, but I got up there. The first thing I had was this LaserJet HP 98 ink. The top is open, but this bag inside is still sealed. The ink inside is still sealed. This one's not super valuable. I was hoping to get this for $1 or $2, and when he looked at it, he said $5, and I said, I'm gonna put that back because I don't remember what the value is, but it's just really not that high, surprisingly, for ink. And he goes, oh, never mind. How about just $5 for everything? And so I was like, that works. And so that made this under $1. And so I was happy about that one. Kind of like I was saying earlier, I am slowly trying to expand the different categories that I sell in, and I know a lot of people make money selling plush. I spotted this Looney Tunes, which looked like a kind of older tag. I think this is Sylvester the cat, and it's from 1996, and I think the condition on this is basically, he's got his tag, so I'm going to say like new, excellent. Didn't see any stains or anything. Paid 83 cents for this one. This is a Fisher-Price 1985 gummy bear character. The character is QB, I guess. This one can go for like 30 or 40 in really good condition. Mine has some stains on it, so I'm new to selling plush, so I don't know if something is really old, if it has a couple stains, if someone will still buy it or not. So I'm only buying stuff that I know I'm getting it less than $1. So if it sits for months and months and months with no action, I'll just give it back to the thrift store. Picked up a vintage Tommy Hilfiger red label tag shirt, 83 cents. And then looks to be a vintage U.S. Marines shirt in really nice condition. Kind of a cool colorway. This one is single stitch, so that's good on that one. Size extra large, made in the USA, 83 cents. I've recently just kind of gotten into flipping like vintage Rubbermaid and Tupperware stuff. Some of it can go for good money. Ooh, this is a vintage Rubbermaid, like Lazy Susan, it spins. Even though this has the style number on the bottom of this, I could not find this anywhere. I couldn't find it on Google, on eBay. I can't remember if I looked on WorthPoint or not, but these pieces like slide out like this. What's interesting is, I don't know if it's complete. You can see the top of it has that, weird design up here. I'm not sure what it's for. It almost looks like it's supposed to have something else that goes on top of it. But since I couldn't find any example of it, I don't know. And so I guess I'm going to put in my title that this is rare because I can't find any other single one of it. Paid 83 cents, hoping just to get like $10 at least for it. Well, I went to Goodwill this afternoon, and I have good and bad news. When I got to the register, I found out it was Customer Appreciation Day, so everything was 25% off. Plus, the lady ringing me up, I think, was just in a really good mood, and she gave me really good deals on stuff, which that never happens at Goodwill. So I'll show you the bad news. We'll start with the first thing that I am excited that I got. If you watch my channel, you know that I love selling Bubba Cups. Again, this is my bad market. They're not worth a ton. They don't sell for a lot. They don't sell fast. I just really love selling them. I love lotting them together and getting a few bucks for them. And this was marked at $2, but for some reason she decided to open her little book and scan the barcode that says 50 cents. So I got this for 50 cents and then 25% off of that. But I paid for 4 things. I rounded my dollar up to $2, so it's 50 cents. All right, here's what I was really excited about. Nativity sets can have some really good value if you get the ones that are really collectible or good brand on them. This one is Gobo. Here's the sad thing. It had 3 pieces. It had Mary and baby Jesus. Joseph, and then there was a third one, an Angel, and when I was just now taking it out of its wrapping, I thought that the Goodwill employee had wrapped each one individually. She had wrapped 2 of them together, and so one flung out of the paper. I'll show you that one. All right, so that's not good. The Angel broke into 4 pieces. So I'm definitely obviously gonna sell those other 2. I'll probably sell them together rather than individually. On this one, I'm gonna have to decide if I'm gonna super glue it back together and then sell it with the other 2 and see if somebody wants it like that. They might not even want it. And just obviously you'd have to write in the description that it's super glued back together. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'll decide. So I just puzzle pieced the pieces back together, and all the pieces aren't there. So like some piece must have just shot somewhere else. So I'm not gonna even attempt to super glue them. I'm just gonna sell the 2 nativity figures together. So I'm really disappointed because whenever I picked those up, I was like, man, I can't believe these are in mint condition. They were just absolutely excellent. And I don't know if I said this, I paid 50 cents a piece for those. Still, I think I'm going to get pretty good value out of that. Gobo is a pretty collectible. I don't know a whole lot about them, but just from really fast looking up sold comps, it looks like they're pretty collectible. And especially that series is called Flight into Egypt. And I don't think mine is as vintage as some people's. You know when like something just doesn't look as new, or something looks more new, it just doesn't look super vintage? These ones almost look like they're made by the same company, maybe like a rerun or a reproduction of like an older vintage style that they did. And most of the ones that are going for really good money were made in Germany, and mine is made in Thailand. Just went to my favorite thrift store, favorite as far as pricing goes. I got 6 things for $3. Can't beat that. So 50 cents each. Got 5 vintage hats, vintage like trucker hats basically, or just, you know, baseball hats. That's my absolute favorite category to resell. I don't know why. I don't really love wearing vintage hats, but I just love flipping them. And some of these are more specific to cities, and so I don't know if they'll sell, but I thought I'd take a chance on them. Got Mule Days from Drummond, Montana. You can see it's got like a sweat ring on it, so it's not the best shape. It's not terrible though. The condition of like the dome or whatever is pretty nice. I got this Ingersoll, this one's in nice condition, black with the rope, nice hat. Not sure about this one, a vintage Nevada Department of Transportation, perfect condition, trucker hat, foam front, rope, all those things make it valuable. Here's one that'll hopefully be more of a local flip, I guess. I just couldn't pass it up. It had a cool look to it. Camera America Portrait Studio, Broken Arrow, Oklahoma. That's where I'm from. It's got a tiny little rope on it. Perfect condition. I think it even still has the cardboard inside. Yeah, it's hard to see with the sun, but it does. This one should sell. A vintage Breckenridge, Colorado hat. It's faded, so I'm gonna call it distressed. It's got the rope on it, really nice. I miscounted. I actually got 7 things for 50 or 7 things for $3. I got 6 hats and then something else. Okay, so this hat, I took a chance with it. I knew it was gonna be super cheap. It has an awesome look to it. Vintage Firestone mesh trucker hat. The problem with it is it's broken. The closure in the back, the snap is broken. So here's the deal. Most collectibles, people are just buying to display. So here's the deal. With most collectibles, people are just buying to display them only because, like, if you're buying a figurine, you can't do anything with that. You're buying it for display. And so I kind of am figuring that hats might be the same way. That obviously a lot of hats people want to wear, but they might be like other collectibles where people are just looking to simply display them. So if you type in vintage Firestone hats into eBay, some of them can go for really good money. Obviously the ones that are in good condition will go for better money, but I still thought at paying less than 50 cents for this hat, somebody might be willing to pay like 10 to 15 bucks for it. For their collection. All right, this last thing that I got really surprised me. I couldn't believe the value on it. I saw this cars carrying case for, you know, like toy cars, holds up to 50 cars. I thought I'd look it up. I was kind of almost didn't even look it up because I didn't think it'd have much value. This thing sells for between 25 to up to 40 plus shipping, empty, like with no cars inside. And so definitely scoop this one up. So I went to a thrift store that I hardly ever go to. It's on the opposite side of town from where I live. I was only over there because we were pretty close to going, they're going to a garage sale today. It is December in Oklahoma, like a week before Christmas, and people just really aren't having garage sales, so we had to drive a ways. And when we showed up, it was a reseller's garage sale. That's the worst type usually, because most of the time in Oklahoma when resellers have a garage sale, they're asking their eBay price, which I just get really agitated by, because it's just putting forth so little effort. You're not having to do all the listings and photos and shipping and all this for eBay, but yet you're expecting to get eBay prices. It's just crazy. And as soon as I figure out usually that I'm at a reseller's garage sale, I leave immediately. The only situation where I wouldn't is, let's say it was like a reseller, I have too much inventory garage sale, and they're offering prices, like what they had paid for it. Now that would be pretty cool, but I haven't run into one of those yet. But let me show you what I picked up at this thrift store. Usually this thrift store that I went to today, I don't go very often. One, because it's on the other side of town, but two, like, their prices are often double what Goodwill prices are, and I don't know how they get away with that. So I only found like a few shirts, nothing else. Everything else was just too high. So I'm new into doing clothing, and I get really excited when I find vintage t-shirts. This one is a local one, so I don't know if it's going to sell, but it has a really cool look to it, so I'm still going to list it even on eBay. Here's the front of it. The front is not as cool. It says truck and stuff. Oh wait, yeah, that's the front, and here's the back. It's cooler. Truck and stuff, accessories, Tulsa. Kind of has a cool like 80s or 90s like color retro look to it. It is a single stitch, so that's really good on that, and it looks to be like in excellent condition. It looks like it's probably never been worn, maybe just like stored. It is on the Hanes Beefy Tee tag, and it was $3.98. So definitely listed on eBay. Hopefully list it on Marketplace on Facebook. I need to look this place up and see if it's even still a store, because that'd be cool if somebody like from that store saw it and thought, oh, I want that t-shirt from decades ago. To be honest, I'm not sure if this is a vintage t-shirt or not. The tag in it, all it says is medium, so that's not good. It is not single stitch, but it is the band Garbage, and I think they might be like a 90s band. I'll have to look them up to know for sure. But most of the other shirts on eBay that sold by them are vintage t-shirts, and the texture of this one kind of feels more vintage. So I don't really know if this is like a reprint just of an old band or a true vintage shirt. I couldn't find any like it, but I'll still list it and see if it sells, and paid $2.98 for this one. One more t-shirt is from the Disney store. It is Mickey USA. It is single stitch as well. I think there's like a little bit of a mark on this one. It's not terrible, but for the most part, just the look of it seems like it's basically unworn too. It's got a little bit of graphic on the back, and it's a size extra large, made in the USA. So those are my three shirt finds from the thrift store today, and I'll probably go thrifting tomorrow if tomorrow's like the day before. I went to Goodwill this afternoon, found one thing. I found some Pyrex. Pyrex can be really collectible for certain designs. You got to find the right designs though, because sometimes it's just almost worthless if the design is not really that collectible. So the cool thing about Pyrex, if you're going to flip Pyrex, as far as I've can tell, they always have a specific number attached to them on the bottom, which is really nice for looking it up instead of just trying to guess what it is and figure it out. And there's like names for each of the designs. This one is Pyrex 913, and it's an 8.5 by 4.5 by 2.5. I think it's probably like for making a loaf of maybe bread or something. They call it a loaf pan. But anyway, this one is, some people on eBay call this the golden butterfly, and other people call it butterfly gold. So I'm not sure what the exact term is. I might look it up on like Pyrex's website to see what the exact terminology or what the exact title of it is. But anyway, paid $3 for it, and it should sell for about 20 to 25 plus shipping. I was pretty surprised to see this at Goodwill, that no one else had snatched it up yet, because seems like in Oklahoma, man, people are just crazy for Pyrex, for collecting it. Like when you go to an estate sale, it's like an all-out war to grab the Pyrex stuff first. So I was happy to get this one, and it was my only pickup.